Hi there, it's Richard here from Procurement Express with a quick demonstration of some new Xero integration work that we've been doing in the last couple of weeks. I've got a very quick demo set up here with some purchase orders, some that have been approved, one that's in draft. I've also got a demo account for Xero. What I've done in that demo account is I've created a couple of categories within the tracking categories, they're called in Xero. So we've got one called department here, which has development, marketing, overhead, sales, and success. Another one called critical level that has A, B, and C as fields. And if we go back into Procurement Express, we'll see that under the custom fields, I've created corresponding custom fields for those against the line item for those department and that critical level. If I go into one of them, I'll see that it's a drop-down list and it's got development, overheads, marketing, sales, and success, the same fields as the tracking categories in Xero. I've also got a custom field called reference. Reference is a purchase order custom field that's going to appear in the reference box within the purchase order in Xero. So anything we put in there is going to appear in that box as well. So a purchase order in Xero has that box called reference. That way we can match that up. So there's our reference box there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you those changes. So if I just go into, I'm going to pick this this purchase order here. I know that it hasn't been synced over yet, so we can see that I've put a reference in. I've also got department and critical levels in for the line items as well, and it's marked as approved. So when we go into the integration, we'll see all approved purchase orders that haven't been synced yet. So I just have to allow access for Xero to get access to that. I'm already logged into Xero here, so I don't have to do the login procedure, otherwise I would. And then I'm going to click on this particular purchase order. This is the only one that's approved that hasn't been synced with Xero yet, and I'm going to sync it. So I'm going to wait for that to sync. It's going to sync the suppliers for me first, and then it's going to push that purchase order over to Xero. Obviously, if there were more purchase orders here, we could click them all, or we could pick the ones that we want to sync over. Let's just let that finish, and then now there's none left. So now I go into back into Xero. I'll just refresh that page. We should see that purchase order synced over. It's that one there with all of the details, including the reference and the department critical level as we've defined it in the tracking categories within Xero. One issue is that item numbers won't transfer over unless you've set up the item numbers separately within Xero yourself. So you have to set up those item numbers beforehand before they'll transfer over to the purchase order. And we can't do anything about that because we can't create items within Xero. We're not able to. So the other thing that has been done recently is if you change a purchase order within Procurement Express, then you're allowed to sync it back again. So if we click on that purchase order again and we go in and we'll edit it, we'll make a change to that purchase order. Maybe we'll change the departments here. Maybe we'll change the critical levels, and we'll change some of the prices, maybe some certain things that might be done by people who need to change a purchase order, and we can probably change the reference as well, like that. Now we can update it. Now I'm able to change the purchase order because I'm logged in as a finance user, so only finance users would be able to do that because it's an approved PO. So it's all changed now, and now I'm going to go back in, and I can go back into the integrations. And when I click on the Xero integration again, I have to allow access. It's a Xero requirement, and then I see I can resync that purchase order again, and then I can resync it, and now it's going to be synced back to Xero again. So I'm just going to refresh that Xero page, and there's our changes of now, including the reference and everything else, of now been changed over. So the last thing is, let's say you want to cancel this purchase order. So we can mark as cancelled within Procurement Express. Do you want to cancel? Yes, I do. Okay, that purchase order is now marked as cancelled. So it's cancelled there. If we go back in and we go back in and we sync that again, that purchase order is going to sync as being cancelled. In Xero, it's not marked as cancelled. I think it's marked as deleted. It's slightly different. They have slightly different statuses against their purchase orders. But we'll sync it again and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've gone back to our approved purchase orders. That purchase order that we've just cancelled is not in this list anymore because it's not an approved purchase order. If we click on all, then it's going to be marked as a deleted purchase order within Xero because that's their equivalent of it being cancelled, but it's still there. It's available in Xero, but it's marked as deleted. It won't affect any of those categories and so on. So that's how it works. That's all of the new features within the Xero syncing. And thanks very much for listening.